going to go across to senior editor Shravan Sen, getting us that exclusive. India carries out precision strikes on Pakistan military bases. It is massive that India has struck Pakistan military bases. Shravan, the last time yesterday when the army statement came out, we said don't strike our military bases. We're not going to get into an escalation with you. What is the news that you have now with you?
Well, this is not an escalatory move that India has essentially made. It is a response to the drone attacks that have essentially taken place. Now, important to point out here that the drones strikes that have taken place from the Pakistani side was also launched from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. We are given to understand the very places from where the drones were basically launched. They have been struck back. In fact, I'm given to understand that explosions have taken place just opposite Uri, Punj, Naushera and Arispura, and they've been targeting the artillery and mortar firings on their own side. Pakistan, in fact, has suffered major losses in the ammunition and Russian storage facilities that is near the LOC is what I'm given to understand. Now, interestingly, Pakistan's deployment near LC and IB, they're being used as launch pads for the infiltration attempts that have been made. In fact, that now has been targeted because what you're essentially seeing, taking full advantage of the fog of war, you have the Pakistanis now trying to send across a large group of Jaish terrorists. In fact, one group was neutralized in Samba. I'm given to understand that attempt has been made from other places too. And the fact that these very infiltration routes have now been targeted. In fact, images have already come to our newsroom with regards to Pakistani posts. But I'm also given to understand some of these Pakistani posts have been completely razed to ground. So there have been precision strikes that have basically taken place at the military bases, which have largely been used to carry out attacks on us. And these were drone strikes that had taken place as far as we are concerned. As return fire, what we are being told, loitering munitions were also basically used to ensure that these are precision guided attacks.
I also want to go across to Major Samar Paltur on this, the breaking that Shravan is getting us, and I'm going to come back to you, Shravan, on this. Please speak to us about it. The Pakistan deployment near the LC and the IB was used as launch pads for infiltrations that has been targeted by India. Pakistani posts have been razed to the ground. Major Samar Paltur, infiltration routes have been targeted. What is very important, like Shravan is telling us, Pakistan has suffered heavy losses in ration and ammunition, but the big breaking is also the Indian side carried out precision strikes at the majority of the Pakistan military bases. Even now, it's precision strikes. We're not trying to attack their civilians like they've done to us.
Rhythm, firstly, when you see the visuals of the attack on the post, you see the projectile has a trail of smoke behind it. So these are probably 80 GMs, anti-tank guided missiles, or you could say the C-90 rocket launchers. So these are basically used for busting of bunkers and enemy positions. So this is not a loitering munition, because loitering munition do not leave any trail of smoke, number one. Number two, my address to the public of Pakistan at the moment is, please refrain from entering or being in the proximity of any Pakistan military establishment. I repeat my words again, please refrain and please avoid going within the proximity of any Pakistan military establishment at the moment, because these are the basic targets which the Indian army is targeting. The Indian forces are not targeting the Pakistani civilians. I say again, the Indian army is not targeting Pakistani civilians. So it is a request that they move away from these locations to safer places. And our main objective is fight against terror, fight against terrorists and their backers. And it is quite evident and clear that you have a military of Pakistan which is a nuclearized military, which is in possession of nuclear weapons and is backing the terrorists openly. And my appeal to the West is that this is the time that they should rise up and stop Pakistan from carrying out the heinous war crimes against humanity, against the largest democracy of the world.
I'm just going to go back once again to Shravan, who's giving us those updates. Shravan, I don't want to, I want to ask you just one question here, Shravan, not going into, go into large sort of questions here, but this is the big update where they took advantage of the fog, Shravan. Pakistan tried to continue with unabated infiltration attempts. This strike is a long and large message to them also, Shravan. This is a precision strike. It strikes them at Pakistan military bases. What are the key losses that they have incurred?
Well, first, let me try and help our viewers understand, Rhythm, that why we are saying that this is a non-escalatory move. That is primarily because late last evening, little after 8 o'clock, is when a swarm of drones was sent out by the Pakistanis. What they were targeting were basically our military installations. Now, several of those places from where these drones were basically launched are the military bases. In fact, Major Samarpal will be in a better position to help us understand that. But having said that, particularly in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, for instance, just opposite Srinagar and the Kashmir sector, particularly opposite Uri and Kupwara, you would have essentially several of the Pakistani military bases that have been used for the launches. Then if you go down, that is basically the Akhnur sector, Samba sector, as well as Punj sector, there too, remember it's coming in from Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and of course thereafter Punjab, Pakistan Punjab basically being used. Now we have multiple ways to basically identify from where these strikes are basically taking place. The gun loading machines which are basically used, this is basically to identify the very location from where these missiles are essentially being launched, and once the coordinates are basically available, and thereafter there is a retribution from our side. What I'm given to understand is that the idea was to basically target those very places, and that is exactly what has happened. Now, as far as the timing of the retribution is concerned, that is not known to me. Now, whether this has happened late last night or sometime later, that is not very clear. That perhaps some clarity is expected to come in later in the evening around 5:30 when the briefing is going to take place. But these are precision strikes that have essentially taken place. Net, what is it that we have been able to achieve so far? The fact that several of these infiltration bids that have been made and these launch pads that are essentially being used, still being used to carry out the infiltration, those remain a major target as of now.